Hello, and welcome to the Loveology podcast, where we talk about love and life with laughter. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jason.
He's the carefree one.
She's the serious one.
And we're married.
We have been since 2012, and we like to think of ourselves as a couple of loveologists.
Not because we are the experts, but because we just love love.
We enjoy studying and talking about it, so we thought, let's just start a podcast.
A place where we can share what we have learned about love, relationships, and marriage.
You can share what you've learned, and we can all grow together.
So here we are. Are you ready?
Let's get started. How's everybody doing out there in the world? Welcome to another episode. We have my co-host, Ashley. What's up, baby girl?
Hi.
And you have me as well, the other co-host, Jason.
Yes.
Jason Harris.
My boo thing.
Boo thing. Boo thing this thing. How y'all doing, man? I hope everybody's staying safe, staying clean, staying fresh. And
staying home,
all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Enjoying some TV, some family time, all that good stuff. Hope everybody's doing okay. Yeah. Baby girl, how you feeling?
I always say the same thing, huh? Good as usual.
Good.
What is it? What is that called? And I don't know. Just when a person's just very optimistic all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Optimisticness person. All right, love. What are we talking about today?
We are revisiting a topic that we've already talked about, but of course you can just talk about this a lot.
That's what this is all about. Loveology is a study of love. Sometimes you go through particular languages particular subjects over and over again, like English, math. I know it's different levels, different levels to it.
Exactly, deeper levels. Yeah. So much to be said. So communication is what we're talking about.
Communication.
We did do this very early on. This was episode 7. It was called Communication is the Key. We talked about some do's and don'ts of communicating in a relationship, but it was mainly kind of talking about how men and women may communicate differently.
Correct.
Have different communication styles. So we also talked about when you're in arguments, understanding that it's not you or the other person. It's the problem.
It's the problem.
Yeah. So we kind of briefly talked about that, and not assuming, get clarification about things when the other person is talking. Right. So we will actually also dive into that a little bit more this episode. So yes, we are revisiting communication, and I feel like this may be a good one to revisit because, we are all maybe, I don't know, some states may not be sheltering in place. I think all of them are now, right? I don't know.
I think some aren't.
Yeah. So, during this COVID-19 situation, you may find yourself trapped at home a little bit more. Shouldn't say that word trapped because I don't feel trapped, right?
Right.
But you may find yourself in a strange situation, not an abnormal situation where, your daily routines have changed and now you're with your family. You may be home with another family member, right? Not just your spouse or children. So it just depends. So if we're not careful, this could also be a time of tension and frustration. And if you lack communication, like I think during this time, communication is extremely, extremely important.
Yeah, I spoke with a sheriff out this way, and they said domestic violences went up.
Yeah,
unfortunately, domestic violences went up. So, typically, before all this happened, you was going to work and you was kind of doing your own thing, and kind of sometimes we use the phrase it's like a ship's passing in the night. Why do they use that phrase, babe? Since you was in the Navy.
What do you mean?
Why do they use that phrase, ships passing in the night?
We don't even see each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the ships are at night passing. You don't even see each other. You don't really communicate. It's just you're just going about your individual day, right? And so now, when arguments and stuff come up, it took a longer cycle for it to happen because your togetherness is very limited. Right. But now, since you're together all the time, the cycles come around quicker. Right. And so it's important to either fix that problem that's creating these cycles or communicate to, I guess that will fix the problem too. You got to communicate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Communicate is the foundation of all relationships.
All relationships.
Communication and trust.
Yeah. So we'll probably have another episode later on down the line, about
Communication is important.
Yeah. It's just a core. And basically I'm backed up by a lot of experts. I'm also revisiting a book called 30 Lessons of Loving by Karl Pillemer, Ph.D. And this author interviewed a lot of elderly couples that had been married or together for, an average of, I think he said 40 or 30 plus years. I'm sorry, I can't remember. But basically he calls them the experts in this book. So I thought they dedicated an entire chapter about communication and how important it is.
Yes.
And these couples that have been together for years and they're old,
right.
elderly people, they say that communication is the core of the relationship.
They've been there, done that.
Right.
And I hope everybody knows there's nothing new under the sun.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
There may be some different distractions, but they still are distractions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So these people that are been there, done that for 40 years together, come on.
Yeah. I think they know what they're talking about.
They pretty sure they got something to share, some
right.
nuggets to absorb. So let's get right into it. Love.
Okay, so we're going to go over 4 lessons. We're in class today.
Okay, 4 lessons.
4 lessons from our elderly, wise couples.
If y'all need to hit that pause button, go get some notepads and papers because you want to take some copious notes. You hear me?
Yes.
Let's go, love.
Okay, so lesson 1 was to talk. Basically, you need to talk.
Gotta talk. That's part of communication.
Right. And so sometimes, as I think especially men may say, oh, I'm just not a talker. Right. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, that doesn't fly here. Right. Like if you are not a talker, you need to learn how to become a talker when it comes to communicating with your partner.
Right.
They said the happiest marriages involved a lifetime of talking and talking and talking.
Yeah. Can I talk, babe?
Oh man, Jason. Like I said, I don't have to worry about this. I'm trying to remember, like, I feel like when we first started dating, you didn't open up as much, but as soon as you felt comfortable, you started talking and it was just like never a problem again. Right. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy about that. Like, I don't want, I never wanted someone who couldn't open up and talk to me about how they were feeling. And because how can I, you may be mad about something and I don't even know you're mad. You're just holding it all in and getting bitter and resentful. That's no good, right? We have to talk about these things because you could totally have the wrong idea of what, you could totally have the wrong idea and that's why you're mad and you didn't even have to be mad. You would have just talked to me.
Right.
So that's very irritating. So, the experts were saying the experts are the elderly people. When people stop talking, it's a major sign that something is wrong. Right. Mm-hmm. So, but if you have gotten to that place, right, it's never too late. You can open up and start talking again. Mm. So yeah, the first lesson is just trying to hammer in like the importance of talking and no excuses. You just have to do it. And if you need to continually monitor how much you're talking. Mm. So if we started to notice, that we're just not talking anymore, like the old Drew Hill song.
We don't even talk anymore.
That's not Drew Hill. That's another
Boys
song.
Man.
Oh yeah. Exactly.
Step your game up, please.
But it's another one. But they say,
can we talk? No, that ain't boy. That's Tevin Campbell, ain't it? Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
Girl, I want to know your name. That's Tevin.
Yeah. I'm thinking of We're Not Making Love Anymore. But
we're not making love no more.
Yes, but they also say we don't even talk no more.
Okay.
Too, in another verse. But I know you don't listen to lyrics of songs. Yes. So anyway, like I said, just hammer in the importance of you have to talk. If you're not a talker, we need to figure out how to open you up. We need to figure out how to get you talking.
Right.
We need to do it.
Okay? Make them squeal. Punch them in the gut. Tie them up.
No,
that's how you
we
get
are
them
not
talking.
condoning violence.
That's
Jason.
how you tie them up on the bed and just get the punching on them. Pow, pow. or dancing. One of the two. That'll make them talk too.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's important for you to continue to talk about like different things too. Like, not just the kids. You know what I mean? Like if you're parents, if you're just only talking about the kids, that's not enough. Right? You need to be talking about things that
like football.
I guess. Things that are happening in the world and how you feel about those things that's happening in the world. Me and Jason talk about everything, so I can't even. We just literally We just any meme that we see in the internet. I don't know what else do we talk about, Jason.
Yeah, just about anything. Yeah,
right. So
it's important.
Mm-hmm. Lesson number 2, which I think is a huge lesson. No one is a mind reader. Again, kind of going back to don't assume anything.
I feel like for the fellas, I feel like the ladies are the ones that feel like we should know these things, right? And clearly we don't. Because if we did, we wouldn't be asking or wouldn't be clueless, right?
Yes, ladies, I think you're absolutely right. I have just accepted that men are super clueless.
We're different, yeah. That's all. We grew up doing different things. Y'all played doll houses. Y'all played with the baby. Y'all was changing diapers when y'all was in diapers. No,
it's something wrong with y'all brain. Like y'all are just very simple, and you are super clueless.
How is it wrong? It's not wrong. It's just our brains is wired.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, you're correct. I should not use the word wrong.
I got y'all, fellas.
It's very different, very unique. You guys, like the movie Clueless should have been about men being clueless, not about women.
No.
Y'all
clueless on stuff too now.
Well, it's just this thing that we would like, and they talked about this in the book about how we want our partners. We assume that our partners, if they really love us and paid attention to us, then they just know, what we want and what we need. And, the elderly people are like, no, that's not true. Now, I think that it is to a certain extent because I do know you very well. So I can sense certain things about what you want and what you need, but I'm still probably going to ask you first. I'm just not going to assume.
Right.
But I can't think of any examples right now, but there's been times where I can tell exactly what you needed, exactly what you wanted, right? Just because we've been together for a while and we know each other very well.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you still shouldn't assume. I still shouldn't assume.
Right.
But, some women really become hurt, right? It's like, oh, if you don't know what I want, you don't really love me. You're not really paying attention to me.
Not true.
No, it's not true.
Yeah, we are paying attention. It's just we may not specifically hone in on that specific thing, right? But we are definitely paying attention in your overall well-being, for sure.
Yeah, and I think a lot of men have asked the question if women have problems, with something that's happening. They have asked the question of why didn't you just say something, I did not read it. I read like a small blurb of a summary of an article that a woman wrote for like the New York Times or something. She had gotten a divorce and she said she wished that she would have just said something. Like if she would have just told him how she was feeling, then everything would have probably been very different.
Right.
So that's a hard one too.
Yeah, that's rough.
Because it's very simple, actually. I mean, it's hard for some reason for us to open up and just say what's bothering us. And like I said, sometimes we get so hurt feeling like the person should know, right?
Yeah, and I think a lot of times we get so hurt for things that happened in the past. And so you don't want to be vulnerable because you don't want to be hurt again. But in order to have a successful relationship, you know what I'm saying, it takes some vulnerability. You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? You have to give yourself up to be free. You know what I'm saying? For this thing to work properly, you got to let your guards down, you know, and that's just what it is. And communication is letting your guards down and pretty much giving a roadmap to the person how you are hurting on a day-to-day basis. If you are hurting on a day-to-day basis, you're giving a roadmap to them because you want them to help, right? But if you don't trust that person, you might feel like, well, now I'm giving a roadmap to hurt me.
Exactly.
So it's like, well, you need to make a decision on if you're gonna be with this person or not. And if you're not gonna be with them, then don't be with them.
Right.
Let it go. Right. And work on self. Build yourself up. Right. Or if you're gonna work on, if you say, hey, I want to be with this person, then commit to that. And open up, let down all the walls, and draw the roadmap so y'all can do this together.
Right. And hopefully you've been, hopefully they're a trustworthy person and you've been, paying attention and making sure that, you feel comfortable with doing that. Right. So anyways, so basically the elders say you've got to say something. Something's bothering you. Say it. Okay.
See something, say something.
Jason has no problem with this.
Well, it's communication. That's what it's called. It's communication.
Well, and I don't know why, but I do think women struggle with this more.
They want communication, but then we give it to them, then they don't want it.
Well, we struggle with like saying what we want.
Yeah.
And I remember I was in college, and like I said, I've always, if you listen to this podcast, you've heard me say that I have always had a lot of male friends.
Right.
And being around males definitely rubbed off on me in some very positive ways, because I remember like the moment when I realized that men have no problem saying what they want. And if they don't like something about you, they will tell you. I'm like, okay, I know what I need to be like too. Since you have the audacity to say what you want, what you don't like, I'm learning today. I'm going to shoot that right back at you.
Your eyebrows too bushy, shave them eyebrows.
I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
But for some reason, women have a problem with that. And I feel like I really learned that lesson because I hung around men and I just picked it up. I saw, like I said, I remember the day that I realized this.
Right.
This was a major difference. And I have always taken ever since that time, especially when it comes to relationships, I take that approach. Like, no, this is what I want, right? Because you're not going to have any problem telling me what you want. I'm not going to have any problem telling you what I want either.
Yeah, you don't have a problem saying, Jason, his stomach is getting a little bigger. You going to do some sit-ups, brother.
I don't say that, but I do say, Well, Jason, it's interesting because I was listening. It's interesting that you bring that up. I was listening to a love and relationship expert, and he was talking about the fact that sometimes women are not honest about what they like physically.
Yeah.
Right? Men are.
Oh, yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
Right? And Jason and I had a conversation early on when we were dating. I said, I don't like bellies.
Yeah.
Especially not at this age.
Yeah.
Right? I think a lot of women would probably be like, whoa.
Yeah.
So no, he and I had that conversation of, no, we're young, I don't like the belly. So now we joke about it, but I'm happy that I said that very early on because it is a problem for me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Exactly. That's just what it is.
It's just what it is. So I would rather for you to know that and me to remain attracted to you and us to be attracted to each other than for me to be, over here like, dang, this belly getting
You looking somewhere else. You all on the internet looking at abs. Nah, baby girl, I got abs over here. I still got my abs. Hold up. Look at my abs.
I mean, oh Lord. It's not even about having like a six pack. I just don't like big round bellies, especially on young men.
Yeah.
No. So anyways, communication, how do you feel about that, Jason? Do you remember how you felt when I talked to you about that?
I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure it was some type of, I don't know. We was young. So was it a shocker? I don't know. I don't know. I can't remember. I think it would be more so, okay, that's her preference. You know?
And it didn't, I mean, clearly Jason didn't have a belly, doesn't have a belly, right?
No. Yeah, I was good with it.
Yeah, so you was like, that's fine with me.
It aligns with me. I don't want a belly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
I want to keep myself, I want to keep myself physically in order. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not just for attraction purposes for you, but definitely now as I'm getting older for health reasons. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to stay healthy and be able to move around.
Yeah.
Shoot.
These kids. Whew.
Yeah. Last night when freaking Jordan, I don't know what she did. She done made a loud noise. I ran up the stairs and ran out of breath. Yeah. I think I just got up too fast.
Yeah. We was just kind of, first of all, I felt like you were halfway asleep. So it was just like a shock, like, adrenaline, I think.
Yeah. That's exactly what that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then also running around with the kids. Like Jordan our daughter, she wants to play chase with me. She wants to tag. I'm like, oh, girl, I'm tired. But I'm still working on getting back in shape after having the baby. So whatever.
Exactly.
Anyways, I was about to say we digressed, but it works together. The easiest way to remember that you're not a mind reader or that your spouse is not a mind reader is just to remember that you two are two totally different people. Two totally different people. You don't see things the same way. You both have separate individual lives, right? Mm-hmm. And just I don't know, it's just better just to say it.
Right.
One of the things that they suggested in this book to kind of help overcome this, which Jason and I do try to do, is ask until you're sure you understand. So if
I definitely do that.
Oh man, Jason does it all the time.
People, I guess, get a little sensitive because I'm like, okay, just for clarification, yada yada yada. I just want to make sure that we're on the same page because sometimes, you could take things and run with it, and I don't want to do that, especially if I want to do a good job at whatever is being brought up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So an easy way to say this is, what I'm hearing you say. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but what it sounds like to me. This is what you're saying, and repeat it back to your partner, and then they can correct you, or not. Right. Very easy. Especially if you're talking about something serious. This is what it sounds like to me. Right. Because sometimes it's just all about how we're interpreting something.
Right.
So,
like again, when you are communicating, like she's saying, just make sure that you guys at the end of it are on the same page. Because if y'all doing all this communication and you're not on the same page, then you just a hamster running in a wheel. You're just spinning your tires. You're not. You got to get on the same page so you can move to the next chapter.
Right. Absolutely. So keep asking those questions until you're clear.
Right.
Okay. Lesson number 3. We going through
number
here.
three.
Mind your manners.
So excuse me. You ain't talking about that?
No.
What you talking about?
I'm talking about the fact that, how when you're at work.
Correct. Yes.
You're always polite. You're always courteous when you're speaking to your coworkers.
Yeah.
And then sometimes we can come home and
just let it all out. We didn't use up all our manner juice for the day.
We are not being polite. We are not being courteous. We do not have good manners when we are talking to our partner.
Right.
Our person that we are spending the most time with.
The person you supposedly love.
Yes, the person that,
some of us treat our coworkers better than they treat our family members.
Exactly.
And those the ones that do you dirty or backstab you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, some people have cool coworkers, but at the end of the day, your family is your family. It's supposed to be, a little bit deeper bond.
Exactly. But it's just like, it's just so easy for us to stop following the rules because we do this at work because we're following a set of rules. We have rules in our head. We can't do this, right? Well, you just need to place those same rules on the way that you conversate with your spouse or partner.
And, I mean, there's nothing wrong with keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with keeping it real, but at the same time, you can do it politely, and you can do that at work and at the house. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So don't just be so conform to the rules of, what your job has set in place. Conform to the rules of being a great human being.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There was a quote that I really liked, and it said, "Marriage offers a double-edged sword. Where we feel most comfortable is also where we feel the most comfortable to be impolite, discourteous, ill-mannered, and even nasty. So again, just going back to what we were just talking about. In this book, the author also interviewed couples. Well, he put like the actual words of their interview. And one of the people said that it's just really important to respect each other. It all goes down to respect. And I'm kind of reminded of, we did a Love is Blind review, this show on Netflix. And
Carlton and Diamond.
Yes, Carlton and Diamond. And she said, we watched the reunion special where she just said, you know, the disrespect, right? To be called out of her name, a bad word, right? Yeah, this is a high like offense, right? People, I think sometimes people take it too lightly that, oh, he messed up and called her out of her name. No, that's disrespectful.
Right.
It shows me that you do not respect me enough to not call me that. Right. Or to, call me names. If you're a name caller, maybe you just need to go fix that.
Right.
Because maybe for some people, well, maybe they just don't respect anybody, or maybe they just have potty mouths.
Maybe they don't respect themselves.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's the problem. They don't respect themselves. So yeah, respect is another big deal.
Right.
Within a relationship. Trust and respect. So if you are able to talk disgustingly to me and talk down to me, clearly you don't respect me. So we just owe it to our relationship that we both speak respectfully to each other.
Well, we did an episode on love and respect. And
we haven't. No.
Oh, we didn't do an episode on love and respect?
No.
Oh, we talk about it a lot then.
Yeah, we do.
So, love and respect is in the same category. They're in the same. They're one of the same. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you can be disrespectful to someone, then you somewhat lack love for them, right?
Yeah.
And if you lack love from them, that's easy for you to be disrespectful to them. See? So it's all one and the same, So being respectful or disrespectful is a good telltale sign on what a person is having their heart. So you want to definitely make sure you're not being disrespectful, because that's a quick way to fall out of love.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. It'd be quick for me.
Yeah. If I come over and haul over here and try to headbutt Ashley, then, she ain't gonna tolerate that.
No. And I'm not tolerating with the words either, because the one disrespectful thing that Jason said to me, we talked about this in another episode called Fighting Without Fighting.
Right.
He got mad and called me woman.
Yeah.
And I guess he don't see how disrespectful that is, but
initially I didn't see it. I definitely see it now. I mean, but you see, I called my son, come here, boy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you said it in an angry way. You say, woman? No, like, you are totally disrespecting me right now. Like I'm beneath you because I'm a woman. I'm trying to tell you, woman.
I might say that to a man too. Hey, man. Check this out.
Well,
it's
triggering for women.
Right. And that's why I say I can see how it's disrespectful. And that's why I refrain from using that term. I don't want you to feel that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's very interesting because you never treated me like that before.
Yeah.
So it was very interesting that would come out of your mouth. But
it's just, I use it. The words where it come from, the origin of the word is different than how you take it.
Okay.
I mean, I just showed you examples where I called Isaiah a boy, called Jody a girl. You know what I'm saying? It's just sometimes I go there. You know.
Well, I'm happy we fixed that. We fixed that, you guys. He hasn't called me that again.
Yeah, it's easy. Now that I realize, okay, she's taking it as a derogatory term, and it's not what I'm trying to do. It's just a simple. It's just a breakdown to the simplest terms, instead of calling you Ashley or
Jason,
calling you
okay.
wifey.
I'm getting mad all over again.
Please don't, because it was from the heart.
Because you never called me woman when you weren't angry. Okay. So that's why it was definitely taken that way, because you said it in a mean, cruel, harsh way.
Yeah, it could sound that way.
Okay. Moving on. Another tip about having good manners. Say thank you. Say please. Say excuse me. Right? Like when I bring you something, say thank you.
Right.
This goes a long way. It's about demonstrating love and having mutual respect. Again.
Do I say that too much? I say thank you, love.
No, you can never say it too much. Thanks. And I think I do a very good job telling you thank you too.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that unfortunately people forget this. Again, just get too comfortable. No, we need to be polite to each other. We need to respect each other.
Right.
They also offered a piece of advice if maybe you're struggling. Just try this for a week. Just try saying thank you. If this is not something that you're doing,
right.
Be intentional, be conscious. Say thank you, say please, say excuse me, say the stuff that you would normally say to people out in the world and see what it does for your relationship.
And ladies, I've said this before on the podcast. If you don't grab a nugget, grab this nugget right here. Make sure you tell your man you respect them.
Mm-hmm.
You say those words. That a lot of times for men, hearing that a woman respects him is weighs more than hearing a woman say I love you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because for men, respect is key. Respect is up there, right?
Right.
And love is just, I guess, being used so much, and you hear it so much that it's kind of gotten watered down. But people don't do a good job at showing respect or giving respect out in the world. So when you hear your significant other, your girl, telling you, hey, I respect you, he gonna do a backflip.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a nugget for you. Tell him, tell your man I respect you today.
Oh yeah, I think he's gonna be very excited. Okay, so that wraps that one up. Lesson number 4.
Number 4.
All in good time.
All in good time.
Oh my gosh, me and Jason just talked about this.
Yeah, time and saying stuff at the right time.
Yes. According to the experts, they agree with me. I was grinning really hard when I read this part. I said, oh, Ashley, you're so smart. If we want smooth marital communication, we need to become attuned once more to the crucial issue of timing. And I was just quoting a line from the book, and he compared it to before this sentence. He was talking about that when you're a child, there's an unwritten rule that you don't bring up stuff, right? At certain times. If you want something, you plan for an exact time.
Yeah.
So kids have like a sense of, oh, this is not a good time to bring this up to my mommy. And, if I bring it up at this time, maybe I may get my way.
Right.
So he's saying, let's become attuned with that again. Right.
Yeah. And I agree. And I think the issue with me, because I was bad at the timing, I'm working on that. Right. Mm-hmm. I'm actively doing things to help me with my timing. My problem is I forget. Mm-hmm. If I don't tell you now,
right,
then it's gonna be gone, and that issue is gonna come up again, and it's like, dang, I should have said something last time.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But the simple way to do it is get you a handy dandy notebook.
Somebody's been watching Blue's Clues.
Right. Get you a notebook, y'all. And you could use your phone, right? But I really feel like it's power when you write something down, and when you can read it, something that you've written down, it does. I think it releases some type of energy, and it helps get whatever you're trying to get accomplished. It helps it get accomplished. I think the Bible even speaks on that. Mm-hmm. So I say get a notebook and just have you one that you can fit in your pocket. And, you can write stuff down when it happens. Mm-hmm. And one particular time I wrote it down, and the issue, the felt that I felt about it was gone. Mm-hmm. And when it was time to talk about it, I can talk at a more normal, wavelength. Mm-hmm. I'm not all frustrated and mad, whatever. I don't even remember why I got mad about the particular situation. But hey, this was the obstacle that popped up. Let's attack this obstacle so we don't run into it again.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. It's so funny now that you're just, I want to write it down in a notebook, because that is totally me. It used to be me, but now I have switched gears to the phone.
Yeah.
So the point
Whatever
is
works.
yeah, whatever works. I would love to write it down in a little notebook, but I'm running all over the place all the time with the kids. So my phone is always in my pocket. I have a little list in my phone. And when something comes up that I don't want to forget to ask Jason about, I will write it down. And then when it's time for us to talk, we will talk about it. Right. So that just helps with anything, just so I won't forget, because I forget things too.
Yeah.
So it may be, I don't know, a question about something to do with our daughter's school or something that I need to tell him. So I just want to make sure that I don't forget. So I write it down in my list. I have a list that is topics that I need to talk to about with Jason. Right. So, yeah. So if you're asking yourself, well, how do you know when is the right time? They have some pieces of advice for you.
Shoot, just ask. When is a good time to talk about negative stuff or stuff that we want to work on? Maybe
you could have a set time to talk about things, right? Jason and I like to talk to each other after the kids go to bed. So after the kids go to bed, if it's a serious thing, we kind of debrief each other on whatever it is that we need to talk about.
And if some people can't handle wine while doing it, then don't do it. Might get a little elevated when you have some alcohol in you. So you want to definitely steer away from that. But just ask, when is a good time to talk about that? And we kind of do it towards the end of the day.
Right. One thing is if you do start talking about something with your partner and you can see things escalating, maybe now's not the right time.
Right.
Step back. Right.
For sure. Don't escalate with them.
Right.
and it's just a simple pitch. You know what I'm saying? The pitch of the voice. Well, the volume. Yeah, you know what? It's probably not a good time. I can see you. I won't even say I can see you getting frustrated. I'll just say, yeah, it's probably not a good time. Let's table it and come back to it. So I saw a thing on Facebook that was saying that it's people working from home, and this one girl was like, I never would have thought my dude is a guy that's let's table this and circle back around. Never would have thought he was that type of guy. And that show, I'm like, yeah, we can table this. We can get back to it. Right. It's just the terms that we use at work, we don't use them at the house. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we do. Right. But it's just funny.
Yeah. I find myself using those terms like all the time now, which I don't really like, but I like the professional terms all the time. But if they work, I guess they work.
Yeah.
Now, as you know, that Jason and I we always say we're a work in progress, right? We're learning with you all.
We're not perfect.
Right.
So for all y'all think that somebody perfect over here, y'all better shut that down.
So it was interesting because one of the stories in here was talking about how a woman was saying that her husband basically attacked her in the morning time with things because he's a morning person and she's maybe
it's fresh on his mind.
Fresh on his mind. I don't know. He probably been up.
Had a dream. Anything.
But when I said that, Jason and I just had this conversation, that's exactly what he did. Exactly. He attacked me first thing in the morning.
I didn't see it as an attack. It was fresh on my mind. Man. It was in my brain,
Yes.
And hey, while I'm thinking about it, here it is. But that's not what you should do. Write it in your notebook.
Right, because I explained to him that this is also...
She basically got stuff to do, and she ain't got time to be sitting up in the bed hearing about this blah, 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 blah. She ain't trying to hear all that.
And then specifically for anybody who may be, because I think it creates like more opportunity right now during the COVID situation too, because typically you would be gone by that time, right? You would be going to work. So this is like an incredible, great example of how the change in, you being here caused us to have a riff in the morning. Sometimes people don't understand that stay-at-home moms have a schedule. We have a schedule. A good one does, I guess. Like I have a schedule that I have to kind of stick to because our son is going to get hungry and he's going to start crying. And now he wants to hang on my hip while I cook his food if I don't get up and do it quickly. Right? So normally you would be going to work when I'm doing this.
Right.
And you are not. So you downstairs looking at stuff, want to talk about this. I'm like, dude, again, I have a schedule. Right. I'm sorry. I do not have time to do this right now.
Right.
It is no different than you needing to get ready to get on your conference call or something. Like,
Right.
I need to take care of this.
Right.
So it was both of those things, I feel like.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I still love my husband.
Yeah.
He's wonderful.
She know deep down that I'm it's all love. You know what I'm saying? It's for the advancement of our household, try to get better.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Like I said, I'd rather for you to say something than not to say something, but it just wasn't the right time.
Right.
Now, I feel like, I don't know why, I've always been kind of good, you know, I'm at planning the right time to say something.
Because you grew up around a lot of people. So therefore you had to figure out what's your right time to
Jump
get your,
in.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe. And then I used to be an assistant as well, and I think maybe that helped. Like, I was always gauging when my boss was able, mentally ready for me to come in and ask some questions. It's not, sometimes it's not a good time to ask her a question. Right.
Right.
so yeah, maybe I just had more practice with it that way too. Right. So,
and I was kind of semi like an only child at one point. So it's like whenever I had an issue, I just, hey, this is the issue. Wow, what's up?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was,
I think this can do wonders, because you want to the goal is to get to this, fix the problem, and you just want to make sure that your partner is ready and receptive and, calm. You know what I mean? Sometimes hunger can be a problem. This is what they said. It's like, sometimes you need to eat something.
Right.
Like, try fixing your partner a sandwich, or like a cup of tea or something like that.
Right.
We just want to be more relaxed, right?
Right.
And have the best possible outcome for this conversation.
Right.
So let's just do the best that we can to create those conditions to have the best possible outcome.
Right.
So that was their final trade secret when it comes to timing. Maybe you need to eat. And then they gave an example of a couple that they were kind of arguing throughout the day, and then they looked at each other and realized and said, hey, when is the last time we ate something? We forgot to eat. Like, we were so busy, and now we're tired and grouchy, and we just need to go eat something.
Right.
So I thought that was really funny. Okay, so again, if you are interested in learning more, this book that I'm getting this information from is called 30 Lessons of Loving.
30 Lessons of Loving.
Yes. And
by who?
Karl Pillemer.
Karl Pillemer.
And again, he interviewed a lot of elderly people who have walked down this road. And for the short years, Jason and I have been married for 7 years, but throughout those 7 years, I can really say that this is some advice that is great. Yeah. Like, I can totally see all of this in our relationship, and we've already had a few things that we did understand, and it has helped our communication. So I definitely agree with the elders, the experts. Yeah. Definitely agree with them.
And you know what? We want to hear from the rest of you guys as well, because there's other experts out there that's not in this book, and it could be you. And, so in order for us to hear your voice, man, join us on Facebook Live. That's 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. Every Wednesday we do a live. And so we're going to talk about communication this week. Join us. And if you want to become a Patreon, shout out to all our patrons out there. What's up? If you want to become a Patreon of Loveology Podcast and help support, you can simply go to loveologypodcast.com. There's a Patreon button right below the media player. Click that button, find your tier, and join us. And if you want to support through Cash App, man, just go to $$ Loveology Podcast. Man, we definitely appreciate y'all for another great episode of Loveology Podcast.
Yeah, stay safe out there, everyone.
Good job, love.
Thank you.
And I hope to hear.
Did y'all say thank you, you guys?
Yes, you did. And if you got some questions, you know what I'm saying, don't hesitate to email us at loveologypodcast@gmail.com. We want to hear from you guys. All right.
Okay.
All right. All right, y'all. Love y'all. Y'all stay safe and peace out.
You've been listening to the Loveology podcast. Did you have fun with us today? Tell a friend about our show. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to keep the conversation going. Be sure to subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. Visit us at loveologypodcast.com. Thanks for listening. Until next time, Loveologists.